started. So we're actually gonna start with our legs nice and open. And guess what, everyone? We're already gonna come down into like a nice little open hip stretch. So bring the insides of your elbows to the insides of your knees, and take a nice deep breath. And just have a gentle curl in your spine, so nothing too big. And take a nice little inhale, just shift your weight a little bit to one side, and then exhale to the other. So your feet are more or less underneath your knees or a little bit closer. Good. One more time on each side. Cool. And then you're gonna put the right hand on the floor, gently pushing in towards the inner thighs, stretching up with the left hand. And then exhale, find your way back. Good, and then left hand goes down on the floor, right arm lifts up to that right upper corner, and then find your way back. Good, one more time on each side. And then your last reach. Excellent, palms go back down on the floor, and then slowly stretch your legs, toes forward facing, and then let's curl up on 3, 2, and 1. All right, let's bring the ball in between our hands. We're gonna start with the right foot in front, the left foot is behind, the left heel is lifted, and you're gonna start with a nice gentle bend in the knees and then hinge forward for me. Arms are nice and open with the elbows, palms are pushing into the ball. And we're slowly starting to reach forward as you bend your knee. And then exhale, find your way back, bringing your left knee into the center. So you're gonna focus on restabilizing as you gently squat back and reach, engaging the belly, bringing the ball into your center. So you still have that gentle hinge forward. And let's focus on not sitting into the right hip, meaning I don't want us to do that, right? We're trying to keep those hips as quiet as they can be for the next 3. And feeling again already how the side obliques get warm as you squeeze, come in for 2. And then your last bit for 1. Excellent, let's put the left foot down, bring the right slowly behind, right heel stays lifted, and slowly, gently sitting on back, bending that right knee, engaging the belly, bringing the right knee into the center. Now, as you lift up the right knee, it's very possible that you might have to shift your weight a tiny bit into the left leg, but shifting the weight is one thing, completely sitting into the hip is the other. Cool, we got another 3. So still feeling that reach all the way through the shoulder blades, engaging the belly, letting all the air out for 2. And then your last one here. Excellent, finding your way all the way open. Wiggle, wiggle. All right, so your feet are gently open, the toes are at a nice open position, and you're slowly coming on down, bringing the ball into your right hand, reaching all the way here. Let's slowly find our left heel lifted as we twist towards the left with the right hand, and then exhale back. Good, staying on that side. So you're basically bringing the right hand down towards the left heel as you lift and twist, and then exhale, return. So it's almost like we're flying at like a weird angle. It's like you're twisting up and back, but keeping the hips quiet for the next 2. And then your last one here. Good, slowly straighten your legs, reaching your hands down in front of you, and then slowly extending your arms all the way out, and let's go to the other side. So remember, twisting to the right, lifting up the right heel, right arm goes back, and then exhale, untwisting, finding your way back. Now, if you feel like you want to add like a little bit of a reach, you can, but I'm still trying to find us have that length upwards and just twisting from the waist. So we're not trying to make ourselves smaller for the next 2. And that full twist as we push on back with the upper right hand, and then exhale long. Cool, back to the center, give ourselves a wiggle. Alrighty, everyone, so taking the weights. Should be warm enough. All right, so here we go. Right leg is in front, left leg is behind, just like we did before for the warm-up. And we're slowly bending our elbows as we slide down our imaginary wall. And on the way back up, lengthening all the way through the left as you reach the arms behind you, re-tucking the left toes and starting again. Inhale, push up and bend. Exhale, lean and return. Now I've been doing this a lot recently because I feel like it's nice to shift your weight slowly. And just kind of feel where you are, meaning if you notice that you can lean a little bit more, go for it. If you feel like, no, I'm good here, and kind of just sensing where your shift of balance happens. And trying not to lock out that right knee. Cool, 2 more. And your last one here, we're gonna stay nice and lifted. Good, and then bringing your arms in front of you. Let's just lower and lift the standing leg, gently turning the left knee out a tiny bit for 8. Using the standing leg as a nice stabilization point with a gentle bend for 7. And feeling where you can push up a little bit higher, noticing that the length still stays long. You can straighten out your legs for 5. Cool. Long breaths for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Super finding your way back to the center. Wiggle, wiggle. All right, let's change feet. So left foot goes in the front, right foot goes behind, opening up here, and then bending your elbows to begin as we slowly push on up, slide down our imaginary wall, and then straighten that right leg. And noticing if this one leg feels already maybe different or not. And trying to only extend the leg as much as feels supportively active, right? If you feel like you're wobbling too much, make it smaller. Got another 3. Engaging the belly as you find the lift, fully extending out for 2. And then that gentle inhale, reach, and return for 1. Good, bringing the arms in front of you, and then slowly lower and lifting this right leg with a gentle turn out of the knee. And reaching. Great, another 8. Long deep breaths for 7. And noticing if you can allow the chest to still stay open even if your arms are reaching long. Great, we've got 5. And feeling how the leg stays nice and happily moving for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great, back to the center, give yourself a nice little wiggle. All right, so let's bring our knees back into a nice stable position, slowly hinging forward for me. And then reaching the arms all the way in front. Actually, no. Let's bring the arms, now palms facing each other. So we're gonna lift up the left heel. Thank you all. Let's lift up the left heel and the right arm and then come back down. And then switch sides. So you're keeping, again, the gentle bend. I feel like I'm almost doing the moonwalk, but not actually going anywhere. And keeping the elbows close to your body as you push and reach, alternating sides. Great, we have another 4. And feeling how the heel kind of slowly lifts and melts back down for 3. And the arms stay at that nice long diagonal for 2. Happily sweating already for your last one. Cool, and then slowly stand on up. And let's come onto the floor. Adjusting. Who doesn't want to sweat a little bit and fall? I'm down. Alrighty, so let's find our way in towards the floor. And just put the ball on the side for a moment, just melting yourselves all the way, allowing for that. Let's bring the insides of our feet, or actually the soles of our feet together, and grab onto your ankles if you can, and just allow your knees to kind of slowly open up. It's almost like imagine pushing down on your knees. Great, inhaling here for a moment. And then exhale, slowly releasing your hands, stretching out your legs, pushing down just a little bit into your inner thighs. And if you can slowly tap your left toes to the floor, and then just gently shift as your right. This is not the most graceful thing, but just allowing your lower back to stretch and the inner thighs to stretch. Trying to stay as graceful as you can. All right, one last time. Inhaling, slowly rolling. And then exhale back. All right, rolling time has now ended. All right, oh my God, my ball went so far away. All right, let's grab the ball, everybody, and bring the ball on the inner thighs for me here. And you're gonna grab your weights. Insides of your feet are still together. Cool. Soles of your feet are planted on the floor. Elbows are closed for the moment. Squeezing the ball as you melt your spine up one vertebrae at a time. All right, let's reach again all the way up on your inhale with your left, and then exhale, changing with your right. So we're gonna start to squeeze as we lift the arms up with the left, and then release as we reach up with the right. So kind of sensing the difference between a squeeze and a release. And feeling how you can run in place but not necessarily go anywhere for the next 4. So squeezing, wrapping around, engaging the belly, and then finding that push away for 3. And enjoying that slow feeling of strength that you don't have to move fast in order to feel strong for 2. And then the last one here. Great, reaching the left arm up, palms forward facing, and then slowly melt down your spine for me. 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, prepare, and let's exhale. Head, neck, and shoulders come all the way off. Great, so we're opening up the arms, palms come up, and as we push down, the knees are gonna come into the center. So we're gonna squeeze and open, and exhale, return. Now, if you feel like the weights that you have in your hand feel a little bit too heavy for this, you can also just keep your hands close to your body and just kind of flip your palms up and down without making a big range of motion. But that extra squeeze as we open and then slowly return for 8, 7, and noticing how much of your biceps or your shoulders are getting worked as you slowly open through that space for 6. And continually to squeeze the ball for 5. And feeling how all of your spine from the middle and lower back is melted in for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, slowly bring your knees into your chest and then melt your spine down. 3, 2, and 1. All right, soles of your feet go back down on the floor. Let's grab the weights one more time. And then slowly squeeze the ball as you melt all the way back up. All right, this time we're gonna punch up as we squeeze with the right, and then slowly release as we punch up with the left. And I say punch up, but it's more of like a gentle reach, right? We're keeping the elbows close to the body and thinking about how we can find that space working together between the inhale, expansion, squeeze, and then the exhale, release. Kind of training our breath to actually move differently as we squeeze and release. So it's like if we always breathe when we're squeezing in or always breathe when we're squeezing out, then we get trained in that way, right? But if we can continually surprise our bodies in small ways, then our bodies just have to work slightly differently and we get stronger. Good. Last 2 here for that inhale, squeeze, expansion, and then exhale, release. Awesome. Last time. Super, both arms up, palms forward facing, and then let's melt down all the way for 3, 2, and 1. All right, weights are gonna come down for a moment. Let's bring the ball actually underneath the right leg. Yeah, and then bring the elbows out to the side. All right, left knee comes in towards the center. We're rolling the right leg out, pushing up with the left. And then on the way back, stretching out the left leg, tapping the left elbow, but not moving the right arm. So you're inhaling, punching and reaching with the left arm, right leg, and then exhale, returning. Now, if you feel like you want to put this whole arm down on the right side, because that's more supportive, you can do that as well. Otherwise, just by holding the weight, you still have to challenge yourself here for the next 4. And feeling how that flex happens all the way through the heel, the openness through your chest on the left. Feeling your shoulder get a little bit stronger for 3. Squeezing and reaching for 2. And then your last one here for 1. Great, let's put the weights here if we can, just kind of using them as an anchor for a moment. And slowly lower and lift this left leg, giving it a nice amount of stretch. Just kind of pushing into the ball with the right, but not really going anywhere. Good, we've got another 3. And using the stretch of the back of the leg to help open up the inner thighs and the backs. 2. And then your last one here. Super slowly coming right back down and then melting down for me on 3, 2, and 1. All right, so let's come over to the right side for a moment. Putting the ball away. Cool. And we're going to keep the left knee bent and the left leg bent for the moment. And we're slowly going to bring the left elbow to the left hip. Bringing this left leg all the way up and then giving us a nice little flex. So let's think about pushing up with the arm as we kick the leg. And then we swing the leg back as the elbow comes close to the left hip. Now at the moment, I want you to notice where you're actually allowing your body to go back to. So because this bottom leg is bent, you may not actually be able to swing back too far without shifting your weight. And we'll change that position in a moment for the next 3. You can also point as you swing back if that feels good. And seeing if you want to end with your elbow on your hip, or do you feel like you want to reach behind your hip, whatever feels great for the next 2. And then your last one here. Great, let's stretch out the bottom leg, flexing it, and now noticing if there's a difference of range of motion with the bottom leg nice and extended as you swing that top leg back. So sometimes it's more supportive when you have the bent leg, but sometimes if the leg is extended, you just have a bigger range of motion. Great, 4 more. Engaging the belly as we push on up. And keeping those hips happily stacked. Good, your last one here. Cool, let's put the weight down for a moment, bringing your palms down or actually putting spidey fingers on the floor. Keeping both of your hips nice and planted, and then just slowly start to pulse up for me here. Making nice little lifts. And if you feel like that's a cozy place to be, then stay there. If you feel like you can't lift the bottom leg off the floor and continue to lift that top leg, then go for it. We've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Super. Everything comes back into the center. Roll yourself all the way back. And just take a moment to open up your knees. Again, we can bring the soles of our feet together, pulling the heels towards your bum as you stretch and open. And then pushing down on your inner thighs as you extend your legs all the way out. Good, and let's stay here in this active stretch for a moment as we bring our head, neck, and shoulders all the way off and then tap our toes in the middle. And then exhale, still push down on your thighs as you stretch on out. So again, allowing for the active stretch to be a moment of release. Good, another 3. And feeling how your hips continually just release open for 2, knowing that they're in a safe place. And 1. Super, everything comes back into the center and melt yourself all the way down. Alrighty, ball goes underneath your left foot. Weights come handy. Nice open elbow position, inhaling. And then exhale, slowly lift your head, neck, and shoulders up, right knee in. Cool. So let's do it. Inhaling, reach on up. And then exhaling, return. So remember, your left leg goes long, your right arm, and then find your way back. You know what? If you feel like this is much more supportive for you to keep your head, neck, and shoulders down and still do the whole thing, move that way, right? So you can either put your head, neck, and shoulders down, you can put the left weight down, you can do this without weights. But feeling how that space continually gets a little bit longer for the next 4. And feeling how that full extension comes out all the way through your hip socket. And observing the change of the shape of your ribs for your last 2. And then your last one here. Excellent, so putting the weights here, holding them And then slowly lowering down and flexing on up, giving yourself that nice little stretch. And remember, if you feel like a flex or a point in the opposite direction feels good, just go for it for the next 4. And allowing the toes to still push down as you gaze at your belly for 3. And remembering or inviting your shoulders to melt down away from your ears to release tension for 2. And then your last bit. Super, coming all the way into the center and then melting down for me. 3, 2, and 1. Alrighty, so let's come over onto the left side. Ball's going away for the moment. And then making yourself as cozy as you'd like to be. Cool, so keeping your hips stacked, knees are both bent, right elbow to the right hip. And then lifting your right knee, just ever so slightly off. And slowly kicking as you swing it forward. And then as you swing it back, you bring your elbow close for a moment and just check your range of motion. Right, so you're not trying to overdo it from the beginning. You're trying to check in with yourself to say, all right, where do I feel like I may be compromising my form? Do I feel like my back is actively working, or can I change my direction of focusing on my belly? Good, 2 more. And then your last one here. Cool, stretching out that bottom leg. And let's do it again, noticing if there is any change of your range of motion and how open you may or may not want to be right now. And keeping that right leg parallel to the floor. As we find that combination of pushing and swinging and releasing and returning for the next 3. 2. Happy arms for 1. Cool. Weight goes down, fingertips go into spidey mode or full palm, however you feel, your choice. And then we slowly make little mini pulses up. Cool, and then if you feel like that's great for you, stay there. Otherwise, you can feel and just lift the bottom leg off the floor as you continue to pulse up for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Super, everything comes back into the center. And then slowly bring yourself all the way into a nice, cozy moment. All right, stretching out your legs into a nice, long, lengthened position. Arms up by your ears, inhale. And let's exhale, arms come up towards the ceiling, head, neck, and shoulders follow. And we reach. All right, everyone, we've got like another 5 minutes. So let's make this happen. Let's squeeze the ball in the inner thighs for the moment. And feeling how all of our fingertips for the moment are on the floor, opening up your chest. Let's tuck your toes. And slowly start to hover your knees here for me. So we're gonna squeeze the ball as you gently bend your elbows and then release the ball as you push on. So keeping the knees hovered on the floor or away from the floor the whole time if you can. So we squeeze elbows back, exhale, release. Good, 4 more. And feeling how the squeeze happens simultaneously as the bend happens, and then we release in all directions for 2. And then last one here. Super, finding your way all the way back. Let's bring the ball underneath the right hand, actually. As we slowly bring, can we do this? Can you put the weight behind your left knee? Is that possible? Let's give it a try. Good. So the ball is in your right, the left knee has the weight. And we're slowly pushing down into the ball as the knee comes into the center. And then roll the ball away as we slowly lift up. So we're pushing down, coming in all together. And then exhale, float the leg up and reach. Now it doesn't have to be a big range of motion. And if you feel like this is awkward, then you can always put it down. But just give it a try, lifting just as much or as little as you can. Still lifting from the middle. And remember, we're not leaning into the ball. We're keeping that stability through the center and just allowing the arm and the leg to extend away for the next 2. Awesome. And then your last one. Cool. Finding your way back into remove the weight. And take the ball in between your thighs one more time, finding your arms nice and long here. Good. So you're actually gonna tuck your toes for me here, and then reach the left arm in front of you as you take a nice inhale. And on the way back, as you put your hands down, you squeeze and hover. Knees come down, find your stability. Inhale, reach the right arm in front. And then exhale, hands down, squeeze and hover. So we're trying to feel how we can stay stable even if we're alternating arms. Elbows still rotate back. And then inhale, reaching on the right. Hands down, exhale, squeeze. Good, one more time on each side. And then your last moment here, feeling that full reach all the way out through the shoulders, and then squeeze and lift. Awesome, let's bring the ball underneath the left hand as the weight comes behind the right knee. And then remember, foot flat on the left or tucking toes depending on how you feel. So we're slowly pushing into the ball as we roll all the way away, and then engaging, finding our way back. Now what I mean with the push is like we're not just rolling it. I want you to actively push into the ball as you roll. Right? Sometimes it's more just like a roll, just for fun, but we're actually putting pressure into the ball. Your left elbow slowly straightens, and then we allow it to slowly bend. And we keep that finding of quiet, right? We notice that all of our body parts are working together to support this, but not putting too much pressure on one part or the other. And even within a sense of instability, we can always find our way back to our center here for the next 2. And your last one here. Awesome, take the weight away. Great, and let's actually bring the ball one last time here. Let's just add one little bit. So you're gonna tuck your toes for me, and then slowly lift your hips all the way up, straightening your legs and shifting your weight all the way back as we inhale, gazing down in between your legs. And then let's exhale, slowly squeeze and hover the knees. So you're trying to find a sense of reach here. And your knees may not necessarily be directly underneath your hips, but that's okay as long as it feels fine. And squeezing as you slowly find your knees hovering for the next 4. Still feeling like how the energy out from your elbows still radiates towards your hips, so that everything stays within its line of centering. Good, last 2. And then your last one here. Super, knees come down. Shift your weight all the way back, and then take a little bit. All right, ladies, we've got 2 minutes. So let's do our last little crisscrossies. So coming into the center, hugging your knees into your chest. And then bringing your hands right behind your head and slowly twisting for me. So we're gonna twist up, right leg up, left leg long, taking a deep inhale. And then through the center, switching to the other side. So when you twist to the left, your left leg is up, your right leg is along the floor. So we're inhaling, twisting to the right. And then exhale to the left. Now, if you feel like you want to keep your knees gently bent instead, or you don't want to straighten out both legs, that's fine. Just remember that we're keeping the shoulders as lifted as we can as we move for the next 2. And then feeling how your inner thighs may magically just release for a second as other body parts start to take over. Great, coming in towards the middle. And then bring your hands underneath your knees and rock on up for me. Got your right foot goes down on the floor. Slowly grab a hold of your left foot on the floor, right ankle, grab, and just allow for your openness here. Holding here for 3, 2, and 1, finding your way back to the center. Knees stay gently open, right hand underneath your right knee, left hand, left ankle, and then slowly open here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great, everyone. soles of your feet back together, hands next to you, shift your weight forward, and hang nice and long here. As we bend one knee and then the other. Just allow ourselves to walk to one side and then the other. And here's where we say yes to everything that fits our vision of what we'd like our life to be, and we actively say no to everything else. And we take another deep inhale, and then exhale, slowly step on up in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Alrighty.